Hello. As always, wonderful, wonderful to be with you. In this week, the 17th week in Ordinary Time, the various readings, certainly starting off with the first one from Kings, chapter 3, verse 5, then 7 to 12. We have Solomon going to God, asking him for the gift of wisdom, an understanding heart. The job of being king was a job in which they had to make judgments. They were a judge. They were the source of ordering things for their people, so that the people had an authority who would say, this is what you do, this is what you do not do, and to settle disputes. So it was a judge in the broad sense of the term. The first thing he does that's really an act of wisdom in itself is to ask God for what he needs. In the second reading, Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verses 28 to 30, Paul writes, "We know that all things work for the good of those who love God." We know that all things work for good for those who love God. They worked for Solomon because he loved God enough to ask for what he needed. He loved and knew enough about his relationship with God to treat God as God, to be dependent on the Lord for what he needed. He asks for wisdom to be able to choose what is good, and not just simply go on what looks to be good, because very often so many things look to be good, but then after a while, if you go with them, you find it's only a veneer, an appearance, and in depth, there's nothing there. In the Gospel reading from Matthew, chapter 13, verses 44 to 52, there's a number of very short parables there. The consistent thing is that in every case, they were seeking the goodness that we all should seek, as Solomon sought wisdom. But it required some effort. It wasn't readily available. They had to put out some effort in order to find the treasure, the goodness. Because we live in a world that's filled not only with good, but with bad. We live, as last week's gospel said, in a world that's filled with weeds and wheat. Both are here together. And the issue here is, with some effort, joining ourselves to the Lord, we know what is truly good and we know what's truly bad. One's heart must be formed properly to learn to distinguish the good from the bad. Just because it may be good for me, is it good for everyone? All involved. What looks good at first, feels good for the moment, isn't necessarily truly good. I just go again on what's superficial. That's not going to lead me to what's truly good. Our judgment can be distorted. We can not see things as the Lord sees things, but as the world wants us to see things. Judgment, Dear Lord, give us the judgment to be able to see things as they truly are, as you know they are, to make your judgment available to us, so that we're able to know what is truly good in your eyes. And that only help us to choose. God bless you all.